My name is Dr. Money. In 1972 I completed what is known today as the eglatival penis study.
I learned about this in psychology. You were the one who believed that a normal boy could be successfully raised as a girl. You used a naturally occurring situation.
Yes, there were identical twins called Bruce and Brian. When they were 7 months old they needed a circumcision operation, but there were problems with the electrical equipment.
So Bruce was left without a penis and Brian was not operated on. But how did you get involved?
Well, the parents heard about me and my theory of gender neutrality at birth. They had seen me on the TV on a program with transsexuals. They were convinced by my argument. So they contacted me and asked if I could help their son Bruce. I agreed, of course. At around the age of 2 Bruce was castrated and turned into a girl.
What did you tell the parents about bringing Bruce up as a girl?
I told them they must never tell him the truth. They needed to change his name and dress her as a girl and let her hair grow long. I suggested they give her girls' toys like dolls.
How did you keep an eye on Brenda's development?
The family came to see me once or twice a year for checkups. I interviewed the children and when they were 7 I had enough evidence to publish that my theory had been proven.
That sounds a bit early. She hadn't even gone through puberty. Surely that was bound to have a big effect on Brenda. Were you trying to hide something?
Of course not. I felt that I had enough evidence to support my theory. Brenda believed she was a girl and understood she was different from Brian.
This doesn't sound very valid to me. I heard that according to your transcripts there were signs of Brenda rejecting her gender identity. Is this why you published so early?
Absolutely not. I saw no signs of this at all.
I am not convinced. But at least your ecological validity is high and it was naturally occurring and Brenda did not know her original gender.
Exactly. My study is really good and well thought out. In fact, it's brilliant as I had the normal boy twin to compare Brenda to.
It's not very reliable though, is it? It's a case study of a unique event and so impossible to replicate.
So? I still think it showed us a lot. You can't do an experiment on humans.
But you can't generalize to other boys as you don't know if Bruce and Brian were the same as all other boys worldwide.
But?
No buts. Your study is unreliable, ungeneralizable, not very valid and unethical.
How is it unethical?
It is unethical to cause harm or damage to the participants. By publishing your book and then continuing to say the gender reassignment had been successful, you angered the twins.
Well, I changed their names in my book. I called them John and Joan.
You caused such a controversy.
Really?
Once Diamond and Sigmundson published their follow-up study which showed the gender reassignment had failed, campaigners argue that children like Bruce shouldn't be operated on.
What about intersex children?
People argue that they should not be operated on either. They can make their own minds up about gender when they're old enough to choose for themselves.
I don't know how you expect parents to cope with that. They need to know which gender to bring their child up as. Otherwise, how do they know whether to paint the room pink or blue?